I'm sitting down with a couple of really excellent dudes in my life, people I am very honored to work with. First and foremost, this panel discussion is about our brand new USA custom shop. This is something we are extremely excited to announce this year, something we've never done before. Hello? Excellent. We are working with one of our longtime collaborators, a dear friend to the brand, an incredible luthier, extremely talented guy. Please give a warm applause for Gene Baker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
We are extremely glad to have you on board, man. These instruments are looking incredible. I know people are really excited to get their hands on them, so thank you so much for joining us this year.
My pleasure. Worth every second.
Gene will be building in our custom shop in California. Everything's hand-built, finished, set up by Gene himself while we watch over him like a hawk to make sure everything is aces. And on my left, playing the prettiest thing you've ever heard, this is another dear friend to the brand, an extremely talented individual, needs no introduction, certainly not from me, but renowned guitar player from Steely Dan, and most recently, the induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the Doobie Brothers. Give it up for Jeff Skunk Baxter. Congratulations on that, Jeff. So Jeff has worked with us for a number of years, obviously as an artist endorser, but also in product development, making sure that we do our brand name justice and that we make the finest instruments possible. So thanks so much for being here, Jeff.
My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
So we're going to get this going. We're going to ask these guys a couple of questions about what it's been like to work on this project. And as we're sitting here talking, the custom shop webpage is actually being launched as we speak on d'angelicoguitars.com. It's the first time anyone's going to see it, so we encourage you to check that page out as well. That's d'angelicoguitars.com/custom shop, all there. So Gene, my first question is for you. So you've been hanging out with us for a really long time over the years. You've made some arch tops for us, some semi-hollows, et cetera. And you actually grew up with our COO, Mr. Jimmy Lovingood.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Sure did.
Yeah, sure did. So I heard a story recently. You guys were in 7th grade together, and you were in wood shop, and Jimmy mustered up a lopsided coffee table, and you busted out a guitar. Is that true?
Pretty much close to that.
So how long have you been building guitars?
Well, I really started back in 7th grade. I'm calling this my 40th year as far as professionally building, but
That's incredible.
I feel like I've been building all my life ever since I came out of the womb.
Right, absolutely. Do you feel like it comes naturally to you? Is it something that you just get?
Yes, in a lot of ways, but I think a lot of that stems from the fact that I just love playing guitar. If you love the product, you're going to build the best product you can.
That's a great point. Honestly, throughout this process, as we were checking in on you and just seeing how the whole thing was going, you would often express more excitement than anybody else involved in the project. You'd be like, check this friggin' thing out. Like, I'm so psyched, unbelievable. And every photo that you sent along, from the woodworking up to the neck finishing, up to the colors themselves, everything just looked incredible. And it seemed like you were having a really good time doing it too.
Oh, it sure is. I know I've only been in California since June of this year, and we physically had to set up and build an entire new shop, buy all new machinery. So it was a lot of work, but just having this as our award, just making it here to the show is proving ground for us that, hey, we're back and we're
absolutely.
butt.
So you can't see, but behind us around the corner, we've got a display of 8 brand new custom shop instruments, and we've got a couple on stage with us. One over here with Skunk. This is the Ludlow, and down below Gene is the Brighton. We're making all 4 of our solid body shapes in the custom shop, and then we're also offering 2 of our traditional semi-hollows, the DC and SS. So we're pretty much taking our most popular models, some of the stuff that we've seen really great reactions to, and we're making fully customized versions out in California with Gene. So we're extremely excited about it. Tell us a little bit about what it's like. You've worked on a number of brands over the years, but what's it like working with D'Angelico? What's the attraction there? Why did you want to come on and work with us?
Wow, this goes way back to John D'Angelico directly, because he's such a legacy, and it stems from a collision of form, function, fashion, art, just all of that rolled into one. So it gives me goosebumps just being able to work under that brand name and just pay it all forward. Plus, you guys got such young blood in the company, especially with all the solid bodies going on. There's a lot of energy and new ideas and new designs, and I think that's what John D'Angelico will be most happy about.
Love hearing that, honestly. I mean, we take our heritage really seriously, and yeah, we kind of think the spirit of D'Angelico is imbued in everything we do, and we're trying to make decisions that would make him proud, you know, and it's awesome to have such a talented luthier like yourself on board. We have a really serious, you know, history of luthiery, so it's awesome. Thank you again.
Oh, my pleasure.
Skunk, we've been working together for a while as well. And you were here before me, and you were working on,
Here before everybody.
Sorry, I have to remember.
Room here. I'm the old guy in the room here. Yeah, I've been here for everybody.
No, you're the young blood that Gene was just talking about.
I'm sorry?
You're the young blood that Gene was just talking about.
I'm feeling great. Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, you look great. So you were here before me, before a lot of people, and you did a lot of the product development, you know, alongside the owners of the brand, and really worked to bring the history into the modern efforts. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the stuff you worked on with this brand in the early days?
Well, yeah, and I'm a 48th Street baby. I grew up in Mexico City, so I couldn't find anybody to fix guitars or amplifiers. So my dad did give me the U.S. Army radio manual, which is what Leo Fender used for his first. So that plus sticking a fork in the toaster lets you know which way the electrons go. You figure that out. And then I started building guitars with Dave Schechter, and I had a shop back in the 60s. We started building guitars together. So I have a lot of love for wood and the whole piece. And then being on 48th Street, working at Dan Armstrong's, really at his knee, learning about customizing guitar electronics and all that kind of stuff. And then playing with the great musicians like Eddie Deal and Sam Brown and people. Every one of those guys owned a D'Angelico New Yorker because that was the Stradivarius of guitars. If you were a bebopper, if you didn't have a New Yorker, you were like lame. So when I first got my first D'Angelico New Yorker, which I still have, I was fascinated by the legacy of the instrument. It's like buying an AC Cobra or something. It's just something so special about it. At 48th Street, there were not only guitar stores, but there were luthiers, Charles Ponty across the street, violins, cellos, and he fixed D'Angelico guitars because he was the only guy that really understood what John did. So when I ran into Brandon, I was introduced to him by a friend of mine, Larold, who's my engineer I used for producing a lot of records. And I was a little skeptical. You know, I said, "You're gonna what? You're gonna buy the D'Angelico brand?
You know, bringing that thing back?"
Well, but I because there was a lot of heart in it, and I thought, is this guy really, you know, for real? And then we sat down and we talked, and I listened to his vision, and I started to see the first instruments that he was looking to design, and I was blown away. You're absolutely right. John, I know you're up there, and sorry I broke the chisel but that's a whole other story. The fact that all of these instruments are, you're right, where I think John would have gone in the 21st century, and the fact that Brendan and all the people that he's put together have really made sure that they have given John his due and made his name, kept the quality brand. That's incredible because it's a lot of work. I mean, anybody can build a guitar. You know, it's as Andre Segovia told me one time after I fixed one of his guitars, and we're all standing around with our straps on us. He says, "It's not an amplified canoe paddle." In Spanish, of course. It's not. So yeah, anybody can build a guitar, but to build a musical tool that has all the excellence and basically says to you, "I'm great, you're not, get off your ass," and everything's built in. All the chords are here, all the software is there. Everything you need to know is already here. You just got to figure it out. And the fact that you built an instrument that allows you to do that with such excellence, aplomb, and whatever other adjective you want to add to it. Good on you, Brendan. That's really amazing that you've done what you've done with this brand. It's incredible.
Yeah. Thanks, Bren. Brendan is the owner of D'Angelico, for those of you who don't know. And so, obviously, what we've tried to do over the years is align ourselves like folks like Skunk and folks like Gene, people who actually know, again, you're young, but you got some history to you. You're young blood, but people who have seen every iteration of these instruments, how they get better over time, the small things that make a massive difference. Being on the product development side of things now, when I see Skunk come over to me with that twinkle in his eye and he's going to tell me about something that he wants done differently, I'm immediately like, oh God, what is it? What is it, Skunk? What do you have to teach me now? And it's a Jedi moment, and it's something that we really appreciate. We take very seriously. So thank you so much for working with us.
You're down with the small nuclear reactor thing.
Absolutely. Anything you want to do, I feel safer with you around. So without further ado, I would love to get some.
I actually know those two.
Right. I would love to get a first impression from you on this instrument. This is the first time that you've played them. I purposely kept you away from them. I played defense on the custom shop wall so that you could essentially do
It's been on a doorstep of Funk and Wagnalls for a certain amount of time, so it's been in a box.
Yep. You're not allowed. Yep. And so now we'd like you to just play through a little bit and tell us a little bit about what you're experiencing.
Well, the first thing, again, being somewhat of a luthier, the first thing I look at is finish. And I'm a real freak about that stuff. And angle, the angle, silly things that may seem silly to most people, but the actual pitch of the headstock versus the neck, the pitch of the pickups in the instrument, versus some people like a very flat plane. If you're an acoustic player or electric acoustic player, you like a little bit of a plane. Well, and I looked at this, and this is a solid body guitar, but it has that same feel. So if you want to, if you're looking to, it gives you that kind of vibe. Just want to bebop all day. It has that wonderful feel to it. So it's very interesting that somehow or other you caught that special space between like a, kind of a slab and a really, really special custom archtop guitar. So first of all, I like that. I love the finish. I'm not a big chrome, shiny fan, only because I sweat like every other animal, and that's the first thing that goes, is everything turns fingery and wet and weird. The fact that you've done all this in brushed metal makes really good sense.
Here, turn a little bit towards the camera so they can see some of those details. No, that's okay.
There's no shiny. You can't signal the guys on Gilligan's Island. It's just, it has this beautiful matte finish. And frankly, it's going to stay looking like this for the life of the instrument, as opposed to what usually happens. So I thought the workmanship was excellent. We've talked about coil fading and stuff like that, and we're in the depths of an interesting project, us all, in terms of some electronic stuff. And the neck feels great. I like a little bit of meat on the instrument. I don't like very slim necks because I don't know what to do with my hands. Even though they're small, my hands are small but.
So I think what we tried to do with that neck, right? We talked about this a little bit, is essentially like a slim in spirit neck, like a quick neck, but something that has just a little bit of heft to it to have that custom feel, to have that really high quality feel. Is that pretty much what you were going for?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Make that thing comfy.
It's really comfortable to play. I don't have to think about it.
Skunk, you still have chops, man.
Oh, thank you, darling. Appreciate it.
What happened? You practice all day?
Once in a while, yeah. Pick up the guitar.
That how you get into the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I think I wrote him a check. No.
So.
It was the Doobies this time. The Steely Dan last time. Hey, if things work out, maybe I'll get a hat trick.
You want to start a band?
But I'm 71, so we'll see if I make it that far. Yeah.
So one of the things that we did for this custom shop is we essentially put together a menu, a very literal menu, actually. We pretty much made the custom shop a restaurant for all of you to engage with. And so it's available on our website, and it's also printed out here at the show. And you can customize a number of features to essentially make the solid body or the semi-hollow of your dreams. That's why each one of them looks so different. The combinations of the finish, the color, the tone woods, you can customize pretty much everything, and no two of these instruments are going to look the same. We've also got some incredible boutique electronics. In here, we've got Lawler Imperials, we've got stuff from Fralin, we've got custom shop stuff from Seymour Duncan. I mean, everything just sounds and looks and feels at the utmost quality, something that we can really hang our hats on.
Well, how do you go from playing, weddings and bar mitzvahs, Played in country bars. It's an amazing instrument that can translate all those languages.
Absolutely. Sounds good in your hands as well. So, Gene, I want to ask you a little bit about some of the, as we started going, and developing the shop, some of the materials that came in. We really selected by hand, some of the exotic woods, the tone woods that we're using on the fingerboard and the body material as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the materials as they were showing up, the quality of them?
Ooh, it's nice when you're D'Angelico because it gives you the power to do anything you want. So what that really means is I was able to find the best lumber suppliers that I can pretty much choose anything, and this is what I need, and they delivered on the spot, perfectly kiln dry, just excellent material. So that's been a pleasure in its own right, just to open myself up to more suppliers. So there's a lot of great things coming in from, we got the Madagascar ebony tops, some of the zebra wood, a lot of Carina, mahogany, walnut. We're going to be getting, I think we're just scratching the tip of the iceberg, actually.
Absolutely.
Quarter sawn close to center cut. You can see by the grain.
Bingo. Yeah, quarters on.
All incredible stuff. So hold this one up to the camera so they can see it. This is an ebony Macassar top on a swamp ash mahogany back and sides, right? And that's cherry burst. But I mean, just the materials themselves, we did so many natural or trans finishes because we wanted to show off the quality of those materials. Even when we did a funkier finish like something on the Brighton down here, you can still see through that trans blue and really get an idea of how high quality the grain is. We accidentally almost bought every single material that we came across when we were building the custom shop. We kind of couldn't stop. Here, you want to hold that up so the camera can see it actually? And Gene did an incredible job on this finish, too. I've never really seen anything like it. It's kind of like this emerald seafoam green on the swamp ash. Really, really nice. Okay, so the last thing I kind of want to talk about before we ask Skunk to move over and play this Brighton is what you're doing, with the help of a CNC and then what you're doing by hand in the shop as well, right? Because there's got to be a combination of both. We want there to be a standard of consistency, and then we also want that hand-done vibe and that excellence that you're fit and finishing these guitars. So can you talk a little bit about that?
And when it really comes down to it, the CNC just gets some of the hard work where you're removing large amounts of wood at one time. There's no big love in the large amounts of wood. It's in the small details where all the love really comes in. So the machine just allows me to cut things really kind of accurate, keep my repetition real tight, but there's still probably 75% hand work in here where, we still got to hand detail every neck shape, every heel, you name it. There's just so much hand labor in these that I almost don't even like calling them CNC built because there's so much handwork.
Yeah, they're really not, and you can tell when you pick each one up. You can tell the hand shape of the back of the neck, and you can really see the luthier skill in each instrument. So that's something that we want to make sure the custom shop really offers folks.
Even things like the multiple binding, that's kind of a lost art with a lot of companies because why? It's a lot of work, and it takes a really good eye to do it right.
Yeah, so I saw the videos of Gene almost crying as he was building some of those instruments with like extra detail, and I did not envy your position at that point in time, but they're really incredible. So really well done. Please give it up for Gene and these incredible instruments. He really deserves all of our love for this. So why don't we swap these instruments? Swap. Yeah. I'll take this.
I'll take this.
Excellent.
And I'll take that.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is we're giving all these away for free. I should mention that. The custom shop starts at $0. Just kidding. Erase that from your memories. Yeah, extremely different. So the last question I want to ask you before you kind of play us out here is, in general, other than versatility, what is it you look for in a high-quality instrument? And in something, these are going to start mapping at $39.99. What is it you look for at that price point? Are you getting it out of these custom shop instruments?
Most important thing is the instruments stay in tune. They still haven't figured out, they meaning whoever the gods of guitars are up on Mount Olympus up there, they still haven't figured out how to guarantee that an instrument will always play in tune. I mean, you can buy the best components, you could do all of that, but the real question is, this, as Glenn was saying, it's in the design of the instrument. It's taking the time. It's the neck joining, the way everything, the way the nut is cut. all of this is all about, I mean, yeah, you could take pencil lead, you could do all this crap, but the idea is, can you buy an instrument that you know will stay in tune and play in tune? That's hard to do. It's really hard.
And that's some of those hand-done features. That's some of those things that when you have a dedicated luthier building one instrument at a time, that's something that they can look at detail-wise.
That's the first thing I look for. The second thing I look for is, can I pick up the instrument and feel like I've played it for a long time? In other words, am I like trying to figure out where I am? You know, do I need Google Maps to figure out what's going on here? Not at all. Both these instruments, the action is set up beautifully. And I picked up the guitar and I wasn't really thinking about what it is. It naturally, I could play it. So that's huge for me. And that's one thing Dan Jellicoe has been very, at least from my experience, has been very concentrated on, is to make sure that every instrument plays great. That's huge.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna turn you up here, and why don't you just walk through each position and just react to it as you go. This is Skunk's first time playing this custom shop Brighton. You're gonna hear it at the same time we hear it, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Sound good?
Well, we did the same thing we did before to see what this thing might. It's still going. It's still going. Still going. That's incredible. That means that all the pieces, of the way that you've thought this instrument out, have all come together as perfectly as human beings can do it.
Hey, good job.
Amen.
All right.
That's huge to be able to have that kind of sustain. Because if you want to be expressive, sometimes, I mean, I know everybody wants to shred and play 80 bazillion hemi, semi, demi-quavers, but the whole deal is, what about the space in between? That's what I get paid for in the studio. It's not what I play, it's what I don't play. And if a guitar sustains, you can give it the music time to breathe. Where most instruments, you got to keep playing because you're dying here. You're dying here. You know, you're dying here. So the other positions that I haven't checked out yet. Oh yeah, good surf stuff. It's got a nice slap to it. Absolutely. Actually, we're going to give the Ventures their Lifetime Achievement Award on Saturday night.
Ah, yes, awesome.
I'm a big Ventures fan. So yeah, it has all that nice bell ringing double. I love the double pickup sound. For some reason, most people don't seem to like it. To me, it's the most expressive of all because it's so harmonically rich. You know? Now I'm purposely slapping it hard because I like that. But if I want to keep it clean and keep it sweet. So again, the instrument's built to express on, if there's such a phrase. And, well, you can't argue with an open E chord, you know.
Hello.
Yep, speaks, picks. I feel like I'm at the Palomino Club, you know, doing another Thursday night gig with the Palomino Riders. But it's a very different feel than this is. For me, I like bigger guitars, but I'm amazed that I'm this comfortable with a guitar that's this compact and this size. So I don't know what to tell you other than my first impressions of both of these instruments. Is it well done? You've done an incredible job of thinking through all of the pieces. Some people build guitars because they want to make money. Some people build guitars because they think it's the right thing to do. And some people build guitars because they want to build guitars. And you've done a beautiful job on both of these.
Thank you.
Please give it up for Skunk and Gene, everybody. We are extremely excited to announce this USA custom shop. We couldn't be happier to be working with you, Gene. And of course, always, thank you so much for coming, Skunk. Please check it out online, d'angelicoguitars.com/custom shop. And thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.